Only God. Only God. Only God is going to be the one that will hold you and keep you resilient when you are on the brink of disaster, when everything is imploding. I have to be honest with you. On the third time that we failed at the closing table, I went back to the Lord and said, now, Lord, now you told me this is where you wanted me to be. Elder Cheatham at that time, who was the president, he said, Pastor, you got an option. You can either remain here at Emmanuel Brinklow, or you can go to CCC. Our president, P. Square, was the ministerial secretary at that time. And the Lord and C and I prayed about it, asking God, what should we do? And we felt the conviction that this is where God wanted us to be. And some of my august colleagues came to me privately and they wanted to know, was I okay? They said, you're not sick, are you? I told them, Brother Patterson, I said, no, not that I'm aware of. They said, you're leaving Emmanuel Brinklow and you're going to CCC? Now, I don't want you all to think that something is wrong with CCC, but with some pastors in their mindset, some pastors, not all and not your pastor, but some pastors view churches as stepping blocks. They see it as a ladder of progression. The higher you go, the more importance and influence. And it has to be that because it's certainly not more pay. But I felt convicted. I knew this is where God wanted us to go. And every time I said, this is it, this is the one. And on that third one, that thing, I had to go back to the Lord in the midnight hour. Like Jacob, wrestling with him. The Lord said, no, stay the course. And here is what Joshua is telling the children of Israel. You need to remember and you need to reflect on the goodness of God. He has kept his promise. But the problem was, it was the second generation that came along. Stay with me now. In Judges chapter 2, verses 7 and 10, and the Israelites served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and the leaders who outlived him, those who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. Verse 10, after that generation died, another generation grew up who did not acknowledge the Lord or remember the mighty things he had done for Israel. If you miss anything, don't miss this point. I want you to understand that the children of Israel at this time did not have the scriptures like you and I do. They had to depend upon the oral transmission. They had to rely upon the images that their parents demonstrated, listen to me parents, in their home. They saw how fastidious the parents were in obeying the Lord. What am I talking about? Every morning they had to bring a lamb that was without spot and blemish. They had to bring the daily sacrifices. They would recount. The pedagogy was the oral transmission of the goodness of God. And then the Lord said, I need to help you to remember. So even on the high priest's garment, they had the little pomegranates that was interspersed with the brass bells on the bottom of the hem of their garment. It was so that every time they saw the priest coming, they would see that pomegranate and it would remind them, this is the Yahweh that delivered us out of the land of Egypt. This is the Yahweh that parted the Red Sea and we walked on dry ground. This is the Yahweh that when we got to the other side and Pharaoh's armies were in hot pursuit, this is the God who took the staff in Moses' hand and raised it over the Red Sea, and it flooded the whole waterbed. My question for you today is, what are the memory progressions that you are using to remember the promises of God? How do you remember God's faithfulness that will hold you when you are in the valley of decision? When you have to make a choice. Am I going to be faithful in returning an honest tithe and offering because of the goodness of God, or am I going to pay my mortgage?